The 9-minute reckoning. The badge was undeniably authentic, the clearance impeccable. Adrian Pierce's confident stride declared his identity without a single word. He was precisely who he claimed to be. Yet, on a placid Tuesday morning within the polished confines of Denver's Summit Corporate Plaza, someone decided it wasn't enough. He arrived just shy of 10 a.m., clad in a silver-gray shirt and dark trousers, a black leather messenger bag resting at his side. A polite nod to Carl, the security officer, who didn't even glance up. Adrian settled near a sleek onyx wall, his voice a murmur into his wireless earbud. He was the picture of an executive poised for a high-stakes meeting. But not every eye saw him that way. Chloe Davies, a junior admin nestled behind the front desk, watched Adrian with a brewing suspicion. "He's pacing," she whispered to her co-worker. "Talking to himself. Something's off." Instead of approaching, Chloe reached for the phone and dialed security. "There's a man in the lobby acting suspicious." Not a word about his badge, his composed demeanor, just that he seemed out of place 8 floors up. Adrian's contact at Apex Solutions was running late. Meanwhile, Chloe's vague report had already reached Denver PD. Officers Kevin Stone and Maya Santos arrived within minutes, armed with dispatcher summary as nebulous as the initial call. Black male, early 40s, possibly scouting the building. Stone was first through the doors. "Sir, could we have a word?" Adrian looked up, surprised. "Sure. What's this about?" Step away from the wall, hands visible. Adrian didn't panic. "I'm with the agency," he stated calmly. "Here for a scheduled brief." Stone squinted. "Agency of what? CIA? Got ID. In my bag? Let me get it, sir." "Don't reach." Stone barked, his hand twitching toward his holster. Adrian froze. "You just asked me for ID," he said, his voice still level, yet firm. Officer Santos stepped closer. "Place the bag down. Open it slowly." Adrian complied. "Side pocket. You can check it." Inside was a metal badge holder. Santos retrieved it, opened it, and confirmed. Photo ID, badge, credentials, all real. Still, Stone wouldn't back down. "We'll need to confirm," he muttered. "You can call Agent Rachel Chun at the Dallas Regional Office." Adrian offered. Neither officer made the call. "Are you armed?" Stone asked. "Yes," Adrian replied. Agency-issued Glock 19 concealed right hip, fully authorized. By now, Adrian was sitting on the cold lobby floor, hands visible. Every movement was deliberate. He said nothing more, simply watched as Stone stared him down, as if waiting for a slip. Santos, clearly uncomfortable, turned to Stone. "We should radio this in." Stone didn't move. The silence was suffocating. Then the elevator chimed. Out stepped Agent Rachel Chun, sharp in a navy pantsuit, badge visible, coffee in hand. Her eyes widened, taking in the scene. Adrian on the floor, 2 cops towering over him. "What is going on here?" Her voice sliced through the room. "Good morning, Rachel," Adrian offered dryly. Chun's gaze locked on the officers. "Why is my top agent on the floor?" Stone stammered. "Ma'am, we received a call." He was acting suspicious. Chun didn't buy it. Did he resist? Threaten anyone? "No," Santos admitted. "Then why is he on the floor?" Chun's tone grew cold. "Because he's black and wearing an earbud?" Stone had no answer. Adrian stood slowly. 9 minutes, he said. "That's how long I was treated like a threat." Chun's jaw tightened. "You're cleared, Adrian." She turned back to the officers. "If you still need confirmation, my number's on this card, but let me make it simple." He's an 8-year agency veteran. Neither officer spoke. Chloe, still by the desk, stared at the floor, guilt creeping across her face. She hadn't imagined this outcome when she made that call, hadn't expected a federal agent on the ground because of her hunch. Adrian said nothing more. He picked up his bag, checked its contents, and nodded once at Chun. His voice was calm, but behind his eyes, something simmered. An old frustration reignited. Then building security arrived. Daryl, the head of the team, a tall man, leaned toward Chun. "We reviewed surveillance footage," he said in a low voice. "And there's something you need to see." Her brows rose. What now? There was another man here. 5 minutes before Agent Pierce arrived. He left a small black case under the planter near the north wall. Adrian's eyes sharpened. Where is it now? Daryl hesitated. We haven't retrieved it yet. We were waiting on bomb squad protocols. The footage shows him deliberately glancing over his shoulder. It wasn't random. The already tight tension coiled even further. Chun straightened. Secure the lobby. Evacuate non-essential personnel. Lock the elevators. She turned to Adrian. You're with me. Chloe looked up, alarmed. Wait, what do you mean, bomb squad? No one answered. Adrian moved quickly, already issuing voice commands through his earpiece. Patch me to ops. Possible drop confirmed. Coordinates locked. Surveillance needed. 5-minute window prior to arrival. Scrub audio too. Chun nodded sharply. We need eyes on the perimeter and someone call the Dallas office. Tell them we're activating contingency protocol. The ticking wasn't just metaphorical now. Something had been left behind. And it wasn't just suspicion. We've been partners on cases for 3 years. Chun said coldly to the officers. Check his record. He has more commendations than some agents getting 15. Santos accepted Chun's business card. Stone didn't. From behind the reception desk, Chloe stepped forward, her voice trembling. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to take any risks. Adrian turned toward her, not with anger, but a visible, heavy exhaustion. You want to hear the irony? His voice was flat. I was standing next to the building directory the entire time. You could have just asked me my name. Chloe said nothing. Her mouth opened, then closed again. No defense came. Chun wasn't finished. She took 2 steps closer to the officers, her tone now sharper than steel. Just before I arrived, she said, Agent Pierce was reviewing a transfer application. A police officer applying for a spot on the Cybercrimes Task Force. That file was on his desk this morning. Her eyes slid toward Officer Stone. You're kidding, Santos muttered under her breath. Chun didn't blink. Officer Kevin Stone, that was the name. Stone looked stunned. I didn't know. Chun stared at him. You detailed your academy scores, your field experience, even your bravery commendation from last year. It's a strong file. Adrian folded his arms. I had marked it for an interview, he said simply. Thought you had solid instincts. Stone's face flushed, shame replacing confusion. The air grew thick again, but this time it wasn't tension. It was accountability. You were 15 minutes away from speaking to the agency, Chun added. But instead, you had a man on the floor, a weapon nearly drawn, and a federal badge ignored. No one responded. Chloe had retreated behind the counter, smaller than she'd ever looked. Adrian's tone didn't rise. It didn't need to. This is why we talk about bias. It doesn't always show up as violence. Sometimes at a phone call, or silence, or a hand hovering near a holster for 9 straight minutes. Stone muttered, I didn't realize. And that, Chun said sharply, is the whole problem. Adrian turned to Santos. You saw the ID. You knew it was real. Santos nodded slowly. I did, she admitted. And I didn't speak up. I froze. Adrian offered a faint nod. We don't choose the moments that define us. We only choose how we respond to them. The elevator chimed behind them, and a manager from Apex Solutions finally stepped out, looking confused. Agent Pierce? We had a briefing scheduled. Adrian exhaled and grabbed his bag. Still on, but just before stepping into the elevator, he paused. He looked back at Stone, who was frozen in place. I want you to remember one thing, Adrian said, his voice quieter now, but no less clear. The only difference between you and me in that lobby today, I never doubted who I was. Stone didn't answer. For the first time, he no longer looked like an officer, just a man reckoning with a moment he couldn't erase. Adrian turned and stepped into the elevator next to Chun. Chloe remained behind the counter, clinging to her phone like a shield, her eyes downcast. She said nothing, but her silence was louder now than her call had ever been. Chun pressed the 8th floor button. Just as the doors began to close, Adrian said softly, almost to himself, 9 minutes. That's all it took to nearly destroy everything. The elevator sealed upstairs. The shift was immediate. Adrian moved with quiet professionalism, the pain tucked deep behind a practiced calm. The briefing went on. The files opened. He returned to the job because that's what agents do. An hour later, the session ended. As Adrian packed his laptop, Chun offered, "Want company on the way down?" He shook his head. "No need." She nodded. "I'll call you later." As he stepped out into the lobby again, he didn't expect anyone to still be there, but Officer Santos was. She stood quietly near a pillar, her posture unguarded. When Adrian walked past, she stepped forward. "Agent Pierce." He turned. "I waited," she said, "because I needed to say this. No one told me to." Adrian said nothing, only listened. "You were right. I saw your ID, knew it was real, and I let it all unfold anyway. I froze. I didn't stand up when I should have. I won't forget that." Adrian studied her face. She wasn't performing. She meant it. "You still have time to choose what kind of officer you want to be," he said. She nodded slowly. Adrian gave a respectful nod and walked away. The building's revolving doors opened in front of him. This time, no one stopped him.